Welcome friends, fellow meat enthusiasts to the Steak Wolf channel. We're always trying to up our meat cutting and cooking game and sharing our findings with you. But we're always trying to save you some money on your next meat purchase. And that's what today's video is all about. What if you can have awesome choice steaks at $5.99 a pound? I'm going to show you how right here. Pretty good size one here. So see that nice marbling? That's technically your boneless short rib. But if you cut it as a steak, it becomes a Denver steak. That there, it's your chuck eye. Another delicious steak. And actually, it looks like I got a little piece of flat iron on here too. We'll see if it's big enough to make a steak out of that as well. As I said, got this chuck roast, $5.99 a pound. And if you know what you're looking at and you look for that eye, pronounced eye, you know you got it close enough to the front where it was closer to the ribeye, where you can then separate it out and do this. Good way to start. Take this rubbery stuff here and you just trim it right off. You don't want to waste any meat. Try to stick close to it. So here, you barely even need a knife to separate it. You got to be careful though, because there's two parts to that chuck eye. The smaller part and the bigger part. You don't want to accidentally just take the smaller part. You want to take it all. So you feel where that membrane is, and as you go back, it gets even. There we go. Where you barely even need a knife, if at all. You just separate it. Nice and easy. And it just comes clean off, just like that. Now this is that flat iron spot I was telling you about. That's technically a piece of the flat iron. Let's see if it's big enough to take with us. Flat iron's another delicious steak. They don't always leave the flat iron attached to this piece. Sometimes you get lucky. Yeah, we'll come back to you in a minute. Let's focus on the Denver steaks, or the boneless short ribs. Just gonna clean it up. And none of our trim ever goes to waste. We always grind it at a later time. Just gonna get the last of this heavy fat. So in my opinion, you see the way the grain's going this way and then kind of changes this way? That's a good spot to kind of get in there and separate it. And I think the better part of the short rib is this side. So look at that. Cut to your desired thickness. I think for a Denver steak, it doesn't always need to be too thick. I think something about like that, but I'll go a little thicker on this next one. Why not? I think something like that is going to be just fine. On to our chuck eye. Does this look like it's worth $5.99 a pound or what? You got your chuck eye, which to me is just about as good as ribeye. You've got the Denver steak, still makes my top 10, barely, but it does. Flat iron, which I absolutely love. And then I decided to keep this piece of the boneless short rib as a roast. diversify a little bit. And then we've still got our trim here that we're going to grind, so we'll get some good burgers out of that. Altogether, $5.99 a pound. I think that's a pretty good score. Those are good dogs. Just going to hit them all with some salt, pepper, and garlic, get them on the grill. I don't know about you guys. I am ready to eat some steak. Let's start with this flat iron here. Real thin, cooks real fast. I didn't leave it on there long. Never fails. Love the flat iron. Flat iron is underrated. It's usually on the shoulder clod, but the shoulder clod connects right up to the chuck, so you get that little piece sometimes. This is a bonus. And when you get it on a chuck roll, you know you did good. You got it really towards that front where you know the chuck eye is going to be nice. Let's try that Denver steak right here. Another one also on my top 10. That looks pretty delicious. On the money. Salt, pepper, garlic's all you need. It's delicious. You get it to a good medium rare like that. Oh man, that hits the spot. That is a tasty steak for sure. Moving on to our chuck eye. On to our chuck eye. May not be as aesthetically pleasing as the other two, because the other two are leaner. That always does something. But I'm telling you, that connective tissue and that fat, connective tissue may not be a good bite, but the closer you are to it, the more tender the muscle generally is. Pretty good way to think about it. That's why you have all these weird cuts that are good like that. Let's see. Chuck eye. Oh, yeah. It's delicious. All three are delicious. I mean, I'll just give you my honest opinion. Number one out of these three for me is chuck eye. Number two out of this is the flat iron, and then the Denver. But they're all good. I wouldn't turn my nose up at a Denver, don't get me wrong. Which one would you want to try if you were here? I'm curious to know. Leave a comment. Well, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you got value out of it, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks a lot for watching. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Please check out my video on the top 10 best steaks, my personal top 10. You won't regret it. Thanks a lot.